Lemon Amiga presents a Playguide video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi there, welcome to another Lemon Amiga play guide and review. This time we'll be taking a look at Alien Breed 3D 2, developed by Team 17 and released by Ocean in 1996. This review was sponsored by our backer Sepp, so thank you Sepp for sponsoring this review. First of all, let's check out what this looks like on a standard Amiga. Let's load up Alien Breed 3D 2, the 4 meg version, onto a standard Amiga 1200 with 8 megabytes of fast RAM. You can see with all of the detail turned up to the max, it's pretty juddery, and you might also find that it's only just on the playable side. That's why they recommended to play the 2 meg version with 2x2 pixel rendering, even though that made the screen look incredibly blocky. You can see it is possible to play this thing on an Amiga 1200 without a faster accelerator, and definitely if I turn the screen resolution down a little bit, then that might improve the experience. But you can see the lag involved really means that the game is unplayable. If you do have the 4 meg version and you have an emulator, then why not put that on the fastest mode possible? Let's put this on with the all 60 and JIT, which is a fake CPU speed, which will be much quicker. Idle on 0 to get this the fastest you can. You don't even need PPC for this. And so looking, it's the AGA chipset, but cycle is not exact. And it looks like we've got 128 megabytes of Z3 fast RAM. That should be really 32-bit chip RAM maybe, for a bit of extra speed. And I've got basically no expansions in there, so it's a stock Amiga 4000 all 60. On the title screen we can see some of the makers of this game, which we'll be moving on to, and then you get to see some of the options. And yes, this was even a 2-player game. You can play 2-player deathmatch on this, and this is very reminiscent of Doom, or I have to say Diablo. And so it's 1st of April 2011 according to that date on the bottom, not quite sure, but you can see all of the keys that you need to press on the keyboard. I've remapped all of those keys to my PS2 controller using anti-micro, and if you change the keys within the Amiga game itself, it breaks, it doesn't like it. So do not change the default keys in the Amiga side, just change them on the anti-macro side to a different button. So there are various options, but not much we can do at the start. So starting up a new game, and it gives us some introductory story, and we find ourselves part of an Earth Force ship, and we'll have to take on all the enemies within it. First of all, we can see some speed out of this engine, which is fantastic. With the JIT on, it means it's going to run just in time, and you can see we can turn the lighting on and off as well, and the 4-channel stereo sound with the F keys, and also with the F keys we can reduce or increase the render quality, and I think it's the Enter key to make that go full screen. So this is as fast as it's ever going to go. This is all 60 unrestricted, and I think this runs at something like 200 megahertz. But anyway, this is as fast as my game's going, and it's certainly slow in walk mode, but we can run, as we'll find out a bit later on. and it's slow if there is any action on the screen, like this door opening, but hopefully once we get through the level it won't be as juddering. We can get a nice respectable 25 frames per second out of this engine. I have had a quick go just to warm up, so I know that there's an enemy appearing here, and you can see, look at that, very fast firing reactions, but as the levels get more complicated later on, it will become slightly slower than this very first level. So looking down here, there is maybe something shooting at us and we can hear something, and now it's the opportunity to shoot it, and it's definitely the art of conserving ammunition at this point. So having conserved the shotgun, there's something down there and there's something down here as well. And I have explored these routes primarily to get myself known on this very first level. I have no idea what I'm doing. You can see in the bottom corner we've got gun 1 out of 10 guns available in the game. That's fantastic. We've got 26 ammunition left. We can duck, we can jump, we can look up and down, and we've got 240 units of energy, which is fantastic. So let's try to open one of these doors. And that's another weapon, that's a blaster, and we also get some blaster ammunition for that as well, and that will come in handy a bit later on. It's great to see the first weapons appearing on the very first level, which gives us a great sense of building ourselves up and preparing ourselves for a bit later on. Some more ammunition, some shotgun shells, we'll definitely need that, and the shotgun is one of the more powerful weapons in the game, and it's the one that you start with, and that really is good efficient ammo, and so we can run down these corridors, and sometimes the AI involved means that they don't always notice us if we're in the shadows, so they can run straight past us. And yes, I have increased the gamma levels on this footage because just like recording most dark footage, somehow it didn't rip very well. So just like all those other 3D games, I've had to increase the brightness of this footage so that we can actually see it. And that is perfect in the real game. So you can see some werewolf noises ripped from an American Werewolf in London, and those are unmistakable, and it's great to hear those when we get attacked. And this door is locked according to that, so we can't get through it, and you have to be pretty handy to read those messages on the bottom of the screen, which will hopefully fill us in on a few of those details. Taking it very easy on the first level. I want to conserve my health at this point. It seems we are being attacked. Virtually all the doors on this first level will contain enemies. And at this point it's simply a matter of saving that energy up. And you can see some great lighting effects as we move through these areas, and the enemies will light them up as well. So collecting that health is important. That gives us full health back. I'm not sure what the maximum is, but 231 at this point would sound good. Let's have that, and let's continue on. And at this point we don't get too much enemy variety. It's basically those gargoyle things and the enemy robots. I don't think the enemies can open doorways, but we certainly can by running into them. And you can see a death arena now in front of us, so we're going to have to take our time instead of wading into that action. Luckily this death arena is just for show, and you can see the lights there lighting up the arena, but there's precious little to kill us, of course, until we open a new door. Some of these rooms might look a bit bright because I've turned the brightness up, but that's just to compensate for the darker areas, which you'll definitely find from level 2. And that's about as far as I got with this game. On my initial try, I looked around all these areas and I think there's something hidden, maybe some ammunition hidden in one of these corners. And I'm struggling to remember where I'm supposed to go, so let's just go down here. This must be the lift to the armory. Hope it's got some supplies in it. Well, we're gonna find out once this thing goes all the way back down again. And I think we lost some energy falling down that lift shaft. So it's great that there are lifts and elevation changes in this actual 3D environment. This isn't 2.5D, this is supposed to be a proper 3D game. Let's just get the medipacks. And what else can we find here? So information. This key will open those blast doors. Fantastic. Keys are always important. And it doesn't give us a representation of those keys, I don't think, anywhere in the game, but once you have them, it just means the doors are going to be open. I'm playing the 4 megabyte version, and this game was released in the 2 megabyte release, which I think has lower quality graphics, and it certainly doesn't have any in-game music either. With the 4 meg version, it's very system heavy, and you'll definitely need to run it with an all 60 at minimum to get anything smooth out of it at full detail. And it also has the music, which adds a lot of atmosphere. Definitely the atmosphere builds up in this game. So we can press one of our controller keys and bring up the map. And I think that's the start button on my PS2 controller, whatever I've mapped that to. So let's fully explore now this very first level of the game, and let's see if we can find what we missed earlier on. Definitely these blast doors we found really early in the game, they now open up, and that gives us the exit. And hopefully it will tell us something about that. Level B, it says player 1, so we can save our progress at this point. And game credits, I think that just tells you the maker of the game. So let's save our position, level B. So that's saved up. Now let's play level B. So the rest of the Earthship seems almost deserted, apart from a load of aliens which are attacking us at every given opportunity. So the goal is to survive. Level 2 opens fantastically with an onslaught, and it's fantastic to dodge all these bullets and get our ass kicked at this early point. And it's always fun, and yes, definitely people who are unprepared for that will have a shock entering level 2. So this is the first time I've seen this level. You can see some magnificent lighting effects as we move through the game, and that beams down onto our environment. So let's keep our eyes peeled now for those enemies, and we can also hear those effects as well, which tell us when we're getting shot. At this stage you can expect something around every single corner of this game, so as soon as you walk around the corner, shoot that thing, you can expect something to happen. And the great thing is, once it's dead, it's dead. Look at that, we've managed to find maybe something else. So that's blaster. Is that more blaster ammo? Yes it is, and I think that's another of the same blasters if we didn't pick that up on level 1. And look at that, even the health is guarded. And as soon as you get to level 2, everything's pretty dark, and you'll have to be on your toes trying to save the health, because if you wander into the enemies and let them blast away and eat away at us, then you're going to die pretty quickly. So it's the art of sneaking around corners and hearing for those sound effects. At the very start of the game it gave us a free mine, but we didn't pick that up because I don't like to use mines in this particular game, but they are there and they are very explosive and they will blow us up if we're not careful. This is actually the exit to the entire level, and if I want to exit the entire level I could go towards the light, but I'm still exploring it at this point, and that means more ambushes. Definitely ambushes are the key elements of this game, and if you are ready for those ambushes, then just like Hannibal, you can take those guys on and blow them up, and you can be the master of your own domain. Look at that, we're down to 138 health. And it's surprising how that takes a massive hit. Definitely we'll find a few of the bigger monsters on level 2. They can really massacre us, so if you see any of those bigger monsters, look out. And elevation changes. We can actually shoot down towards those aliens and those robots, and that's a good thing, but you can see a huge jump there. So unlike Doom, we can jump across things. Let's take a running jump to the side. And hopefully we'll find a few more goodies, maybe a few more aliens as well. So there are at least one master robot on this level, which is a red one. You'll have to watch out for that. And I think there are 2 of them, so if you find them, then you have to be pretty active. So whilst you see me putting the map on and checking out the perimeter, I'll just say that the main design and the code of this game was done by Andy Clitheroe, working for Team 17. He also designed and coded the original Alien Breed 3D game, and graphics were created by Michael Green and Charles Blessing, again from the original Alien Breed 3D, also with additional graphics by Peter Lyon, or Leon, and he created those impressive graphics for Amnios, which we saw, the incredible graphics for The Godfather. Peter Leon also created graphics for Fright Night, if you remember Fright Night, and also Eliminator, and a few other great titles on the Amiga. So fantastic to have him on board. Lastly, the music was Ben Chanter. Phew, I think I'll steer clear of those things in future. That was the master robot, the big red one. They take quite a few hits to knock out, and sometimes with the blaster you can fire much quicker, but I don't find that has a great effectiveness, unlike the shotgun. So, conserving our health, we're down to 106 now, and we're relying on that map to discover places where we haven't been before, and you can see some health there. It would be great to get that, but that health is actually over a gap, so that means yet again we'll have to make a run and jump over that gap, to pick that up. That's great, that's more impressive than Doom, because you couldn't jump in Doom, because it was a 2.5D game and not actually 3D. So this does make use of that, not that the ducking has much use in this game, so we can even look up and down just like Breathless. So let's make a run and jump onto that ledge. And for that we get some more blaster clip ammo from Star Wars. And I think I also collected that health. Looking down here, it's a dead end it looks like. So nothing to investigate here. So all we need to do now that we've investigated all of this level is to make our way back to the end of it again. You can see that we've already explored all of these areas. Let's just continue to have a look around just to make sure. And always look both ways before crossing the road in this game. It's a dead end, no way through here, I'll have to turn back. So what we're looking for is the end of the level now, the bit that we found earlier on, and it's the complicated bit on the map. You can see it's to the left of us now, so there it is above us. Let's move around to that, and surely nothing will kill us now except for the enemies guarding the exit. Unfortunately, we've just been massacred by the creatures guarding the exit, and yes, once they're dead that's it, but they do keep coming back from different corners. Hopefully that's the last of them now, so I can collect this health, and look at that, we're down to 2 ammo. So this game does not hold your hand, we don't have the ammo available to waste. And from what I can see, that's connected somewhere else, it's a shaft. Let's pile on in there, and that should mean that that's the level complete. It's a one-way trip. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to give us a breakdown of our progress and shots fired and that kind of thing. And so, moving on to the next one, as I step inside the shaft, all hell breaks loose. And now, strangest of all, I'm in the middle of it all, killing all these bad guys. So we're now on to level 3. And it even gives us some health at the start after the onslaught, and level 3 actually starts off pretty easy at the beginning, and that's unnerving because you'd expect a lot more enemies, but as we unlock more of the doors in level 3 of course it gets harder. So taking our time now, some of these enemies will blend into the background because of they are black on black, and introduces us to a new enemy now, this blue creature with a blue suit on, and they take maybe 4 hits from the shotgun, and you might notice we've no ammo left because each barrel takes 2 shots. So we're down to the blaster weapon now, and it becomes a different type of game. Instead of us stalking them, it's now the aliens stalking us. We're vastly running out of ammo, so unless we discover how to get through these doors, it says key 1 required, unless we make our progress we're going to run out of ammo and get killed by attrition. So you're going to have to watch out for that, and you have to watch out for, well, pickups as well. What else have we got there? Looks like my kind of weapon, high powered plasma, triple shot, excellent. High powered plasma, of course that will come in handy for the big enemies that we'll find later on. We can't really afford to waste it now because it fires 3 shots, but look at those immaculate lighting effects as we fire those down the corridor. At this point we haven't picked up any keys, so all of these doors are going to be locked. So if we make our way towards the green antechamber, then that also reveals some goodies, and if you change the keys, I noticed from the default keys in the game, then sometimes the jump will lock up periodically in the game, and that means you won't be able to jump. So that's one of the quirks of this version of WinUAE that I'm running. I think it's version 4 point something. So, and also Cycle Exact being off. Hopefully if Cycle Exact is on, then hopefully those bugs won't appear. So at the moment I'm still managing to control this game, and I'm still getting massacred by these guys, and it's only just possible if you keep strafing, otherwise they will pile up and they will attack us until we are dead. This is actually at least the second, maybe even the third time I've tried this third level, because The other 2 times I tried it, I died. So what can we find? Well, there are hidden sections in the game, and this is actually a hidden panel, and I think that requires a key to get through that. And so I do know where I'm going, having failed on this level at least once, maybe twice, maybe even 3 times already. So this is continued footage. I know that there is something down here, and that's a pass key. I didn't notice what number it had on it, but it's one of the pass keys. We'll definitely need to find a few of them, and it helps to either memorise these levels or have the map on, otherwise you might find yourself lost. So that's the key. What can we do? Well, we can't jump to that high ledge, but you can see it is possible. And you can see wandering around, fast forward in this footage, you can see that it is possible to get lost if you don't know where to go, and it appears that we're simply backtracking to where I've just been already. Not quite sure, but one of these doors now opens because we've picked up the key, so if we find that, hopefully it will mean that we can make some more progress before we run out of that ammunition. So I can't find any way through this particular door, and I think that automatically opens if we have the right key. And it looks like I'm convinced that this is the right door, and it looks like there is a lock on the side that I'm trying to stick the key into. I'm not sure, but I thought that that might work. It hasn't, so sometimes it's trial and error in games like this. We have to collide with things and find dead ends in order to find where we are going. I'm still convinced that that was the right way to go. And look at that, we found ourselves ducking under that shelf and finding another area. This is the secret area that I pointed out earlier on, under that flyover. What do we have in here? Well, all the best goodies. Definitely save the grenades, definitely save all these shotgun shells. And if you didn't find that cache, then you wouldn't have enough energy or the ammo to complete this level. Wonderful. If you are struggling, of course all those hidden areas are on that map. So let's try again to go down the middle corridor and get completely lost again and go all the way back to the start. So let's try again with one of these corridors. The middle corridor, I think, is the one that we need to find. Creeping along unnecessarily, we find another key. That's a pass key, and that's in a square shape. That only just about gives us the idea that that square thing that we found on the wall earlier on, that thing that we couldn't get through, that's the key for it. So now that we've found that, all that we need to do is to find the door that we couldn't get through before. That's obviously easier said than done. That's another key, that's a blue one. So it's definitely not holding our hand, it's giving us symbols, colours and numbers to slot into walls. That would have been handy if it just said A, B, C and D. Now that we have those keys, let's move back. This is the very start of the level where we found that health, and hopefully now we can open up a few of these antechambers, and that will lead maybe to some more goodies. And not at the moment, that requires, it looks like a red key. We've got the green one. Fantastic. What's down here? Does this lead to anything? Aha, this is the blue key door. And what do we find on the other side? Well, we'll find some mines, which I hopefully will pick up and make use of, and also some enemies. I'm using this plasma at the moment because that takes care of some of the worst enemies, and you have to be careful with the ammunition because you don't have much of it, and you'll find enemies spawn on this level when you walk around certain corners, so they won't actually appear on the level until you walk around those corners, and then they will. and that long corridor that we opened up has just opened up all these aliens. So you can see those mines there. It would be a good idea to pick up those mines and to plant them in this corridor. Those are actually proximity mines, so that when the aliens touch them, I think they'll blow up on contact. And it's pretty scary with the mines because they have a huge blast radius, and if you plant those in the wrong area, and if you wander back into your own mines, they'll simply blow you up. And that's key number 2, so we can now check that off the checklist. And I think some of these also may even appear, some of these items may open doors later on and may also make enemies trigger, not quite sure. But let's just try a few more doors that didn't open before. That's some more health, and you can't have too much health at this point. And that's another pass key. The levels in Alien Breed 3D2 are complex, and you will need the map to scroll your way around them, and that is unless you've got a great memory to memorise all these doors and all these keys. So we still can't get through the red door at this point, and we've found a new area that we can get through, but as we venture deeper into this level you'll find that it gets a bit harder, so I'm actually saving my ammunition for later on because it's very easy to die on this third level. Basically, when we start to use the teleports, they can teleport us into a death screen, which is, I think, through that door. It might even be through this one. Yeah, it looks like through this one, so we're going to have to be careful from now on. Big enemies will start to appear and they will track us down and start shooting us, and I've learnt the hard way to get rid of these cacodemons using the bigger and better weapons, because they will demolish our health if you let them build up on that screen. One of these, who cares, the dead, but that's not the only one, and you have to watch out because if you release the triple power of that plasma too far away, then only the middle bullet will hit the target, and then obviously if you get too close then that thing will hit you with its own plasma, all three balls together. So yet again the shotgun is the weaponry of choice. Down this corridor is a death room, and if you didn't see enough death rooms already, this game is never shy of giving you those death rooms, and this one is pretty important because it contains items that we need, and it also contains demons that are going to kill us. learned the hard way to take my time over this particular death screen, because I've died here a million times. You can see all that health that we had before has gone. And the worst thing about this particular death screen, not only does it contain too many creatures that will kill us, and look at that, some kind of bug with the controller, but it also contains a floor which will kill us, and as soon as we contact that red floor, we're going to lose energy. So you can try to run through this healthy leather, pick up that massive gun, but by touching the floor, unfortunately we'll lose energy, and that is game over. And that means that we'll have to perhaps start that level all over again. So continuing on, played this again, continuing on from the same room again. Let's see if we can make a better job of that. And this, according to my file system, is the 4th play of this particular level. Finally, it's dead, and there is a teleport to take us directly onto those things that require those big guns and ammunition. But what I'm actually interested in is this yellow pass key, and we can ignore, hopefully, the ammunition and the big guns for now, because it's not like we can get there anyway without wasting a ton of energy. Let's sacrifice the big gun and just go for the gold pass key. And that means now, hopefully, oh look at that, enemies on different levels are trying to kill us, and they go off into their own different apartments. So let's go, run, jump out of this death zone, and hopefully if the jump key still works, then we can jump out and get back to where we were before. And if the jump key doesn't work, like it looks like it's failed on this particular run, then, well, we're going to be in trouble. So, trying to get out of there, sometimes when I'm jumping it's pressing fire by mistake, and I think that's a cycle exact bug, because I have cycle exact switched off. So, not quite sure, let's persevere. That gold key wasn't enough to open that door. Will we get through door number 1 at last? Will it actually work? No, it doesn't work. So, gold key, gold doors. Well, it probably would be a good idea at this point to bring up the map and to try to remember the areas that we haven't found already. And this is, you might notice, another playthrough. I wandered around forever trying to find the right doors, and maybe half an hour trying to find the door. So let's skip back. There's a red door there that we found, and if you remember this gold door here, that's the one. Let's get through that and expect to die. Hopefully that brings us on to the very last section of the game. We'll find, well, this level, we will find 3 teleports. Let's head on to the first one and figure out where that takes us. That has taken us all the way back to the start, and it's actually made an effect on the side of the screen which is actually wobbling. So in the second one it teleports us onto those guns that we found earlier on in the death room, which is all very well and good if you want to die. So you select the 3rd teleport, and hopefully that takes us on to the final key, the red key that we've been looking for all of this time. So that means that that's door number 1 open. So now if we remember where the red door was, here it is. Hopefully this will lead to the end of the level. Looks looks like we're firing grenades now at the enemies, and that should come in very handy. An assault rifle. So this is level 3 and we've got most of the weapons already, although the assault rifle does take up most of that screen area. I definitely wouldn't recommend that because it's pathetic and it's weedy. So let's move on to those scores. The lowest score came from Amiga Power, which actually awarded this 59%, saying it was very too slow, very too jerky. Lemon Amiga gave this game 67%, Amiga Action awarded it 77%, Amiga Magazine awarded this 9 out of 10, 90%, CU Amiga gave this 92%, probably playing the 2 meg version on an 040, it runs very quickly, and Amiga Format, the Technology Masters gave this 96%, saying there is nothing wrong with it as long as you have the Amiga that's worth about £2,000. So these days you can buy an emulator which is free, so you can experience this game finally. So that gives this an average score of 8 out of 10. There is also a level editor where you could design your own levels and put quick levels in there and things like that. And that was distributed. I haven't really seen that recently, but that was given away to even magazines, so maybe that's in the 4 meg version, not quite sure, but 8 out of 10. You can see various wizards in this room, and trying to get them with this absolutely pathetic gun isn't going to work. They're big guardians and they will definitely require some big ammo, and that is the end room. That's the final room that we need to complete this 3rd level. So yet again, I haven't managed to get off the 3rd level of this game. So thanks for viewing this play guide and review to Alien Breed 3D 2, and I hope you can play this game and find out for yourself. So thank you Sepp for recommending the Alien Breed series. Thank you.